I'm Erin Dugan from Fox 56 Sports, and welcome to the Office Depot Office Max pregame show. Tonight is the second of 3 Bucknell men's basketball games you'll see on MyTV, WQMY. The Bison welcome in the Princeton Tigers from the Ivy League. Bucknell is undefeated at home in 5 games this season after Monday's win over Mount St. Mary's. The Bison are 145-50 on their home floor at Soika Pavilion. Princeton, however, has had Bucknell's number the last 3 times the 2 teams have played. The Bison's last win against the Tigers was in 2011. The Office Depot Office Max pregame show continues now from Lewisburg.
Decades of tradition, years of training, hours of practice. Proud and strong, with a will to win. It comes together now. This is the place. This is the moment for Bison basketball. It starts right now. This is Bucknell's men's basketball on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wyoming Seminary and Fairfield Auto Group.
Downtown Lewisburg, Pennsylvania is decked to the nines for the holiday season. And inside Soika Pavilion tonight, the Bucknell Bison host the Princeton Tigers in their final non-conference game of the 2016-2017 regular season. And a pleasant good evening to you wherever you might be, and a very happy holiday as well. My name is Joe Basile alongside Abe Badmus. Tonight, the Bucknell Bison take on the Princeton Tigers, who come into this game at 4-6 on the season, but they've actually played a lot better than that record might indicate, although they have struggled with some injuries, a team with a lot of offensive firepower, Abe, especially thanks to Stephen Cook.
Stephen Cook is a do-it-all kind of player, Joe. He knows how to get to the basket, he knows how to shoot the ball, he knows how to assist his players. He's extremely efficient. His last game, he scored 30 points on just 18 shots.
And meanwhile, for the Bucknell Bison, their last game, an 81-65 victory over Mount St. Mary's here on Monday at Soika Pavilion, and they were led by a great second-half charge by Zach Thomas.
Zach Thomas is what we call Mr. Reliable. His offense and integrity that he had in the second half was the reason in the spark plug that the Bison pulled away the win against Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah, Thomas, a great stat sheet stuffer for the Bison all season long. So now I'll ask you, Abe, what are your keys to victory for both teams, for both Princeton and Bucknell?
For Princeton, Joe, all they really need to do is limit the offensive rebounding opportunities that Bucknell could present. Bucknell has a lot of tall, athletic bigs who like to get after the boards. In order for Bucknell to win the game, what they need to do is limit the Princeton Tigers' set shot threes. The Princeton offense is all predicated off penetrating and driving and finding the open man. If they limit the set shot threes, they're in for a win today.
And we'll see who Santa has in mind for an early Christmas present with a victory here tonight, right after this.
This is Bucknell's men's basketball on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wyoming Seminary and Fairfield Auto Group.
And welcome you back live to the Soika Pavilion. Get you the daily items starting lineups. First for the Princeton Tigers, Devin Kennedy, Miles Stevens. Starting at the guard positions, the forwards, as you can see on your screen, Stephen Cook, Spencer Weiss, and Pete Miller. Meanwhile, for the Bucknell Bison, Stephen Brown, Kimball McKenzie, and Nate Jones are the 3 guards. Zach Thomas gets a start at the 4, and Nana Fallon, the center, jumping center, against Pete Miller. We're all set to go here from Soika. The ball is up, and it is won back by Princeton. And we are underway, the final non-conference game for both the Bucknell Bison and the Princeton Tigers taking place here tonight in Lewisburg. Tight defense out of the gate here for Bucknell, right up on the perimeter on the outside. That's Weiss to the near side, getting the ball to Kennedy. Forcing Princeton to back it around, 10 seconds left to shoot. Weiss guarded tightly by Thomas outside. Trying to feed a pass down low, and it's stolen away by Nate Jones. Good job defensively by Bucknell on that first possession for Princeton.
What a great way to start off the game with a defensive stop.
Outside, launching for 3, Stephen Brown can't connect, but Nana Fallon to grab the rebound. Fallon back outside for McKenzie. Weiss will take some more time. Zach Thomas now driving in through contact. Shot was no good. But he draws a foul, will head to the free throw line.
It's good to see Zach Thomas get off to an early start, being aggressive early in the game.
Take another look here as you see Thomas driving in, being able to draw the contact against Pete Miller. Picks up his first foul. His free throw on the way is good, and the Bison are on the board. Thomas, best free throw shooter on the team at 84% this season. Getting ready for his second PNC Bank foul shot. That one is no good, skips off the rim, and rebounded by Princeton. That was Miles Stevens grabbing the rebound. Now here's Weiss controlling again. Tight defense here by the Bison. Bounce pass to the outside. Now a step back three from Stephen Cook is no good. And Zach Thomas grabs the rebound. Two misses here early for Princeton. Kenzie on the outside for the Bison, stopping his dribble. Seems like Bucknell's the team trying to slow down the tempo of this game a little bit. The outside, McKenzie for three, it's good.
You saw there, Joe, that whole possession started off on the penetration of Stephen Brown.
Such a great facilitator for this offense, running the point. Nearly 5 assists per game for Stephen Brown. Driving in, that was Miles Stevens. Out of control, his shot was no good. And the Bison grabbed the rebound again. Now here's Brown driving in. His shot is blocked, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Princeton. That was Stephen Cook getting up with the rejection that time for the Tigers. Take a look here. The last time these two teams met, 1 year ago today, 366 days ago, down in Princeton, New Jersey, an 89-77 victory for the Tigers, who have won the last 3 games in this matchup. Stephen Brown on the outside, feeds it inside and on a foul, into a whistle, and a quick second foul picked up by Pete Miller.
Coach Mitch Henderson has to make a decision here. I don't think he wants Pete Miller sitting with 2 fouls in the first half like that.
Referees in today's game, Bruce Rothwell, Brian Zink, and Paul Honview. Foul was down on the floor, so Bucknell will just inbound. This will be Nate Jones triggering it inwards. The all-time series between these two teams in favor of Princeton by a 13-4 margin. As Thomas passes down low to Fallon, but the pass goes off his hands and stolen by the Tigers. And as we mentioned, Princeton has won the last 3.
He had great position there, Joe. Just couldn't get him the ball in a clean place.
On the outside, handoff pass here from Will Gladson. Comes in, and getting blocked was Stephen Cook. Now a Fallon coming up with the rejection. Brown kick to the outside. Jones for 3, no good. And the rebound to the Tigers. Cook finds a cutting Stevens. We'll slow it down, kick up top. Gladson up, fakes a 3, passes to a wide open Stevens on the back door, and he slams it home with both hands.
It's because Gladson is a threat from the three-point line is the reason that they made the play like that.
And Will Gladson, over 30% from beyond the arc, the freshman from Chesterfield, Missouri. McKenzie, quick pass over to Jones. They'll swing around the perimeter, a kick out. Here's a 3 from Zach Thomas, it swirls in.
Definitely not something you want to do there, Joe. Help off of Zach Thomas, the Bison's best player.
Cook guarded tightly by McKenzie. The Bison getting right up on the Tigers on the outside. This is a team that is in the top 10 in the nation in 3-pointers made. Stevens dribbling, pass off, now it's up top, again for Cook. Stevens working on Fallon, step back from the baseline, too strong, and rebounded by Bucknell. The Bison doing a great job on the glass. Way up ahead for McKenzie, he's able to save it. Now he finds Thomas driving in and getting blocked by Spencer Wise. Now Wise running the floor will slow things down for the Tigers. A reversal into the corner, driving the baseline, reverse layup, does not go, but the tip in from Wise does.
That's just the Princeton Tigers catching the Bison asleep on a fast break opportunity.
This is a Princeton team that will get out on the fast break. They like to shoot the 3. It's not quite the old school Princeton offense that you might have come to know over the years. Inside for Nana Fallon, his shot doesn't go down. It still has a lot of heavy elements of it, but and Coach Mitch Henderson in his 6th season likes to run the floor a little bit more, for lack of a better term, than you might be used to seeing out of the Tigers. Down low, Wise. Good defense being played by Thomas. Bucknell up by 3 with 15-15 left to go here in the first. Jones feeds Thomas in the post, one-on-one. Spin move to the inside. His shot blocked by Miles Stevens. And it goes out of bounds, and that'll bring us to our first time out of the game. Bucknell up 7-4.
Zach Thomas with a nice three-pointer on my TV.
There's no better way to ring in the new year than with a new vehicle. Stop in and check out Fairfield Auto Group's year-end sale going on right now through January 3rd. Their absolute lowest prices of the year. Take a look now at our marquee matchup today, Abe, and what's the play of the 2 point guards for these two teams?
Two different styles of play. Stephen Brown's a quick guy, likes to get into the lane, involve his teammates. Devin Kennedy is a cold-blooded shooter. He leads his team in three-point shots made, and he shoots it from deep, too.
So out of the timeout, Bison will have it as Nate Sestina has checked into the game, along with Avi Toomer in for the first time. Matt O'Reilly on the floor as well. Whistle and a blocking foul called here against Will Gladson.
Bucknell has to get the ball to Stephen Brown. I've noticed that Princeton struggles guarding really quick guards.
Well, that is something that Brown definitely is, one of the quickest guards in the Patriot League, if not the country. Brown gives to Sestina up top. By the way, Bruce Moore has also checked in for Bucknell. Into the corner, here's the three-point specialist, Matt O'Reilly. Last year in the game against Princeton, Stephen Brown, who controls right now on the logo, 10 points, 8 assists. Swings to the far side, that's Moore, catch and shoot, 3 on the way, shot no good. And the rebound comes to Devin Kennedy, and then he slams right into Matt O'Reilly, and a whistle and a foul is gonna go against the Bucknell sophomore.
Coach Nathan Davis bringing his young lineup in. Let's see what kind of defensive principles that they can apply right here in this possession.
See right there, neither team shooting particularly well from the field, both just 2 of 8 thus far. Down low, here's Stevens, lost a handle on it, but grabbed it back. Now up top for Kennedy, a 3 on its way is good.
That's a guy you definitely don't want to leave open. I know Nate Davis is not happy about that one.
Devin Kennedy had 26 points against Monmouth back on Tuesday, a new career high for him. Avi Toomer now on the outside, working on Spencer Weiss. Stopping his dribble and passing back up for Stephen Brown. All tied up at 7 here in the early going. It's been a defensive struggle thus far. O'Reilly started his drive, then kick out. Sestina with a 3, shot no good. Now Kennedy running it forward. Gives to Cook, nearly carried, but able to get it down just in time. Pass up top for Spencer Weiss. Weiss. For a backdoor cup, the pass stolen away, intended for Kennedy. Now Brown on his way up. Finds Toomer. The Bison and the Annals slow things down. Brown for the free throw line, fading away, shot no good. And Princeton grabs the board again. The Bison now just 2 of 11 from the floor in the early going.
More importantly, Joe, that's 3 straight possessions. They haven't gotten a bucket with this new lineup in.
3 was no good, it went out of bounds, and then Nate Davis nearly ended up having Stephen Cook collide right into him. As you take a look right there at the second-year head coach of the Bucknell Bison, Nathan Davis, as Mitch Henderson was not quite too happy with that. But
he certainly wasn't, Joe. Nate Davis making the argument that the ball was already out of bounds.
You see Mitch Henderson shaking his head. He's in his 6th season coaching Princeton, has exactly 100 career victories. Into the corner, here's Sestina. Driving in, goes up and gets blocked, but a whistle and a foul. I believe this is an offensive foul going against Sestina. Take another look.
See Sestina with the drive, just not enough air under that and getting blocked.
Yeah, block and then getting the offensive foul called against you. A little bit of insult to injury, if you will.
Absolutely.
It's not a foul, and getting set to check back in on the next whistle for Bucknell. Driving in, going up with it. Weiss, shot no good. Kimball McKenzie grabs the rebound. Now McKenzie up ahead. Stopping, and he ended up traveling. Got to fouling back in.
As you see, Nate Davis doesn't have much patience with this lineup, bringing his veterans back into the game so they can take control.
So the 5 on the floor now for Bucknell. Bruce Moore, Matt O'Reilly, Avi Toomer, Nana Fallon, and Kimball McKenzie. Game tied at 7 here with just about 12.5 minutes left to go in the first. There's Amir Bell controlling for Princeton for the first time today. Started the first 5 games of this season, then run off to the bench in favor of Devin Kennedy. Kennedy driving in. He gets fouled.
Kennedy's going to be aggressive. This guy likes to get him up, he likes to score, and he likes to get his teammates involved. Bucknell has to pay attention to every time he has the ball in his hands.
And what is it that makes Kennedy so good?
He's a cold-blooded shooter, first and foremost, so you have to respect him from there. And then he can mix it up, drive a little bit, and he's very comfortable shooting inside the paint.
First free throw on the way from Kennedy is no good. Shooting 95% from the free throw line this season. Normally very good from the stripe, but instead misses the first, and now for his second PNC Bank free throw.
Also, watch, Aaron Young just came into the game for Princeton. This young man also likes to fill it up from the three-point line.
Second goes down for Kennedy. He's got 4 points. As you mentioned, Young into the game for the first time here today. McKenzie on the outside gets a screen from Fallon. Now O'Reilly off the cut, goes up for 3, and he knocks it down. Matt O'Reilly puts the Bison back up by 2 with inside 12 minutes to go in the first.
Beautiful play there. He caught that on the rhythm shot and knocked it down.
So you see all the cutting and the passing around the outside here for Princeton, and an offensive foul going to get called against Alec Brennan. Another foul against Princeton, a team that doesn't foul a whole lot. They pick up their 4th here in the first, and that brings us to the under 12 media timeout. 10-8, Bucknell on top.
As you see, Kimball McKenzie with the knockdown, and Princeton also getting 3s of their own on MyTV.
This is Bucknell's men's basketball on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wyoming Seminary and Fairfield Auto Group.
The Wyoming Seminary was voted the #1 private school in northeastern Pennsylvania for grades toddler through 12 and postgraduate. SEM has it all, challenging academics, diverse arts, championship athletics, and activities for every interest, and has both local and boarding students from all over the world. Call or visit today. Back here at the Soika Pavilion, the score 10-8 in favor of the Bucknell Bison. Here at a low-scoring start to this game. Neither team shooting particularly well from the field, although when you take a look at some of the statistics from beyond the arc, it's still not all that terrific. 1 of 3 for Princeton, 3 of 7 for the Bucknell Bison. Not exactly the MO for the Tigers, though, this year. A team that has liked to shoot the 3 in high volumes and have been known to knock it down at some great efficiency this year, Abe.
Absolutely. There are times on the floor when every single player for the Princeton Tigers is a threat from the three-point line.
Matt O'Reilly passing to Stephen Brown here. And a whistle and a foul is called. Holding foul. Away from the ball.
As you can see, Princeton having trouble with the pick and roll coverage. Stephen Brown should have a field day tonight if he plays correctly and smartly.
So this will be Ben Robertson, the freshman from High Point, North Carolina. Passing it into Brown. Off the side inbounds. Up top for Thomas, just checked back into the game. Spin move to the inside, and Thomas gets the hook to go. He's got 6 already.
It's good that he's aggressive. They're looking for points. Got to go to Mr. Reliable.
12-8 the score now in favor of the Bison. 4 points. Close to their largest lead of the game. Pass for Brennan got tipped, but covered by Miles Stevens. Now outside for Young. He drives in. Kick to the outside. Amir Bell back Back out for Young. 3 on the way, no good. And Princeton just yet to get going from the floor from beyond the arc.
That's right, but they're getting the shots that they want.
There's Brown feeding Thomas on the wing. Out directing traffic and clearing out, trying to get some one-on-one. Awkwardly dribbled off his own leg, looks to try and pass it out, threw it for Fallon, and it just went clear out of bounds.
Really strange possession there, Joe. Bison really didn't get into any rhythm. Zach Thomas with the turnover because the pressure was just too much.
And that's another thing about this Princeton team is they do play some tight pressure defense. We saw that in the game of Tuesday against Monmouth, and we're seeing it again here tonight. Both teams doing a good job against the other defensively.
That's right. This is probably one of their better defensive lineups that they have out here on the floor.
Stevens driving in, and a foul is called here against the Bison. It's going to go against Matt O'Reilly, who picks up number 2. Oh, pardon me, did they call that one against Thomas? They did. Take another look there at the foul.
Nana Fallon was almost certain that that wasn't on him.
Weiss rainbows it in. He gets it in to Miles Stevens. And now Bell with the ball in the corner, guarded by Zach Thomas.
See the Bison in their matchup zone here.
Something that's been a little bit of a work in progress for the Bison over these last 2 years under Nate Davis. And it just seems like with each and every week they get more and more comfortable in that matchup zone. And it's really taken big strides forward this year compared to where it was last year, as Stevens gets the bucket for Princeton.
It's definitely up and down with them. Actually, the last game, they didn't actually run it at all. And they were man-to-man primarily. Looks like Nate Davis wants to try it out today, and hopefully it works out for them.
Stephen Brown recovered the ball after it was tipped away. Now with 10 to shoot, looks to get something set up. Try to feed it inside to Fallon, but there was Alec Brennan knocking it away. Princeton has done a nice job keeping the ball out of Nana Fallon's hands here tonight. Driving in, Amir Bell gets the bucket.
Stops and quick scores are 2 things that the Bison cannot afford.
Game tied up at 12 here inside 9:15 to go in the first. Thomas dumps down low for Fallon, getting double teamed now. Into the corner, John has a narrow with a 3. Shot no good, too short.
Definitely a shot he can make. Great job by the Bison getting the ball out of the double team and finding the open man.
So here's Spencer Weiss with the ball, had a double-double when these 2 teams met last year. Over to the far side for Stephen Cook. Kick out. Stevens a 3, shot too strong. Now here's Brown trying to run it back and hopefully set the Bison up to take a lead here on this possession. Thomas, a nice spin move to the inside, goes up on Stevens. Shot no good, but he got fouled. Zach Thomas to the line for 2 PNC Bank free throws.
That's a matchup Zach Thomas likes. He feels that he's a bigger player, can get him in the post. As you see, he's posting him up here, uses his body, great body control, gets the foul. Going to the line for 2.
That's a 6'7" Thomas going up against the 6'5" guard of Miles Stevens. Second time that Thomas has been to the foul line today. 1 for 2 his first trip, and he hits his first PNC foul shot. It's the high score in this game for the Bison with 7 points, and Thomas has been really the guy all season long. Yeah, you can point to Nana Fallon averaging about 14 points and 8 rebounds, but Thomas, Abe, as you all know, over 16 points per game this season, and a guy who will fill up the stat sheet in just about every category.
You're right. As he gets subbed in right now out of the game, he is Mr. Do-It-All for the Bison. If they're looking for a basket, a key play, you know it's got to come from Zach Thomas.
Second on the team in assists, second on the team in rebounds. Had 4 blocks against Mount St. Mary's and 3 steals as well on the defensive side. Here's Amir Bell controlling for the Tigers. That's back up top. Again, just like to work it around the perimeter to the Tigers. Been their MO for years and years and years. Now inside, Ladson passed off. Driving in, Mike LeBlanc goes up with a shot and he got fouled.
That was 29 seconds of great defense, and then they ruined it with the foul at the end of the possession.
7:58 left to go here in the first, so that means we'll take a break. Bucknell up by 2.
Will Stevens with the finish for the Princeton Tigers.
Welcome back to Soika Pavilion. Bucknell hosting the Princeton Tigers tonight. The Bison up by 2 in the first half. Well, let's get to tonight's Bucknell player profile. We're going to get to know senior DJ McClay a little more. His real name is actually David Jess. He hails from San Antonio, Texas. Comes from an athletic family. His father actually played baseball at Texas Tech. He's a great student as well, a 3-time member of the Patriot League Academic Honor Roll. Now, he did have off-season back surgery, so he's trying to work his way back in to get some more minutes in his senior year, but he's had a fantastic run in his couple years here in the program. Joe?
Well, thank you very much, Aaron. To the free throw line here out of the under-8 timeout, it'll be Mike LeBlanc, a junior from Dover, New Hampshire. He's a McDonald's All-American nominee his senior year in high school back in 2014, and he is no good on the first free throw. It's the first time LeBlanc has been to the free throw line all season long.
Mitch Henderson is digging deep into his bench here. LeBlanc has not played in the last 2 games. Significant minutes.
Second on the way is good from LeBlanc, so he has 1 point.
As you see here, the Princeton Tigers are in their 1-3-1 half-court defense, trying to throw the Bison off a little bit after the timeout.
And how much does it kind of get you out of sorts offensively when all of a sudden, out of a timeout, a team comes out with a completely different defensive look?
It definitely messes you up. You had a plan.
As Avi Toomer going to pick up an offensive foul after dumping it off to Nana Fallons.
As I was saying, Joe.
We'll take another look. Here's Toomer, drove in and dumped off to Fallon. Then you can see exactly where he picked up the foul.
Really good move there by Mitch Henderson, trying to shift up the defense a little bit, throw the Bison off, because you know they came into that after that timeout with a set play.
We'll see if now, do you think that that'll be something that the Tigers maybe maintain for a couple of possessions, or if that's just kind of a 1-possession look and then they'll drop back into their base defense?
They do that just about every dead ball. You can expect to see that again later on today in tonight's game.
On the outside, this is Will Gladson for 3. It's no good. Devin Kennedy gets fouled, trying to go for the rebound down long. Both Toomer and Kimball McKenzie were in the area. I believe they'll get Toomer for his second.
Nathan Davis has seen enough. He's bringing some of his veterans back into the game. He wants to try to get a lead and extend it before the half.
That was the 7th team foul against Bucknell here in the first, so that means 1-1 coming up here for Devin Kennedy. First PNC foul shot on its way is good, so Kennedy has earned a chance for his second. He's averaging 13.1 points per game as Devin Kennedy. Second leading scorer on the team behind just Stephen Cook. Second on the way, good. And Abe, we talked about this a little bit in the Office Depot Office Max pregame show, but Princeton missing 2 of their big players from last year in both Henry Caruso and Hans Brace, who were some of their leading scorers, leading rebounders from last year's team, who were counted on to be big parts of this team. But they've been absent, and the Tigers have struggled as a result as Nate Sestina knocks down a baseline jumper.
Absolutely, Joe. Losing 2 key players like that, especially the fact that they're seniors, hurts the morale of the team, but it also makes a coach like Mitch Henderson have to search and ask a lot out of some young underclassmen.
Stephen Cook passes outside to Spencer Weiss. Now he dumps off Amir Bell with a 16-footer, no good. But the offensive rebound to Kennedy. Now he launches for 3, and Devin Kennedy knocks it down.
Stephen Brown knew he made a mistake. He slept for a second. Devin Kennedy knocked it down.
Princeton with a 2-point lead as Brown recovers the ball out by the logo. Sestina to the near side for Avi Toomer. Zach Thomas dumps it back down to Sestina. Outside for Toomer, a three on the way, and he answers back.
Avi Toomer with a nice, confident, set shot three-pointer. It's good to see one go in for the young man.
Inside, Gladson backing down Sestina. Kick out with one dribble up with the three. Steve Cook knocks it down. His first 3 points of the game.
Bucknell's just having too much trouble on guarding all of these cutters that Princeton's throwing at them on the offensive end.
Sestina outside for O'Reilly. No good. And the run of threes ends at 3. Weiss finding Cook. Driving in, now a dump off. Shot no good from Gladson. And the rebound for Toomer. Princeton with a 2-point lead. Brown goes up. Off balance, shot no good. Kennedy leaves back, deep three on the way, and good. Spencer Weiss.
This is the type of rhythm that you don't want to see Princeton get into, because once they see a few go in, it's going to be raining all night.
24-19, Princeton on top. Sestina for three, shot no good, and the rebound goes to the Tigers. Weiss brought it down, now here's Cook. Just about everybody on this Tigers team can shoot the three ball, really with the exception of Pete Miller, who's not on the floor right now. Driving in and laying it in. Amir Bell, and a whistle and a timeout taken here by Bucknell. And Abe, I think a good use of the timeout here with Princeton starting to go on a run.
Yeah, you can definitely tell they were feeling it, and I'm glad Coach Davis saw that and stopped the bleeding.
So with all these shots, Princeton's been able to find the open guys and knocking them down from deep here over these last couple of possessions. Abe, what is it that you're seeing, either from Princeton's side or Bucknell's side, that's allowing that to happen?
Well, Princeton's running their offense, but what Bucknell's not doing, they're not getting quality shots on the offensive end, and that's carrying over to their lack of energy and effort on the defensive end. This timeout hopefully should rally them back and bring them back to their basics.
In addition to all of the choices we offer you, buying a new or used vehicle from one of our dealerships affords you other amazing benefits too. When you buy a car from Fairfield Auto Group, you get the Fairfield Advantage. 26-19, Princeton with a 7-point lead with 4:41 left to go here in half number 1 tonight. Out of the timeout, we'll see how the Bison are able to respond. As it seemed like, to me, Abe, after some of those shots that Princeton was knocking down, Bucknell was just throwing up some threes just to try and retaliate and maybe not getting the best shot. Here's O'Reilly for three, no good. Rebound to Alec Brennan.
You're absolutely right, Joe. The quality of the shots needs to improve because Princeton is not the type of team who's going to lose a lead.
It's on near side. This is Spencer Weiss passing to Brennan. Now Bell gets a screen from Brennan. Tigers taking some time away. 10 seconds of the shot clock as the three is on its way, and it just won't roll home for Spencer Weiss. Hit about every part of the rim, even knocked off the backboard and wouldn't go in. Now Fallon on the outside. Pass for Nate Jones.
Bison are desperately trying to get the ball into Fallon to get him involved in the game.
Here he is in the post, backing down Brennan, stopping his dribble. The defense collapses around him. A kick out, three on the way from O'Reilly, shot no good. Matt O'Reilly now just 1 of 4 from three today.
Fallon did the right thing. They double teamed him. He kicked it out. Just didn't get the roll that they wanted there on the shot.
Aaron Young, handoff pass for Devin Kennedy. Now here's Bell. Still 7-point lead for Princeton. Bell getting a screen. He launches for three. No good. It was a little too short. Brown grabbed the rebound. He looks to run. Leaves it back for Thomas. Drives all the way down to the baseline. Trying to get inside. Zach Thomas got fouled down on the floor.
Zach Thomas noticing he has to take matters into his own hands and be aggressive.
Foul there goes against Devin Kennedy. That'll be his first, and it brings us to a timeout.
Bison are knocking down threes, but they also have to make sure Princeton Tigers don't get threes of their own. My TV.
Wyoming Seminary was voted the #1 private school in northeastern Pennsylvania for grades toddler to 12 and postgraduate. SEM has it all: challenging academics, diverse arts, championship athletics, and activities for every interest with both local and boarding students from all over the world. Call or visit today. We welcome you back here into Soika Pavilion. 26-19 the score. Favor the Princeton Tigers with just over 3 minutes left to go here in half number 1. Alongside Abe Badmus, I'm Joe Basile. Aaron Dugan roaming the sidelines. So here you take a look at Nathan Davis, the second-year head coach of the Bucknell Bison. Zach Thomas gets set to head to the free throw line already for the 3rd time today for Thomas, shooting PNC Bank free throws. We'll take a look at some of the statistics here in just a second for both teams from the line. As Thomas's first of the 1-and-1 is no good. Rebounded by the Tigers here with inside 3 minutes to go. Pass down low for Stevens, working on Thomas. Bounce pass right back down low for Stevens, and the reverse lay-in goes.
And you'll see a lot of that from Stevens. He likes to post up. Coach Miss Henderson likes to get him in the post, see if they can get any kind of advantage.
Quick touch pass over for McKenzie, now Brown in the corner. Now they pound it inside for Fallon as he gets double teamed. Outside, a 3 on the way from Zach Thomas, who knocks it down. Thomas with 11 first half points.
Mitch Henderson just made the decision. They do not want to see Nana Fallon get off. They're going to double every time he touches the ball. That's going to be a good thing for a guy like Zach Thomas.
Up top for Stevens. Now inside for Gladson. Guarded by Fallon. Gladson with a baby hook, shot no good. Thomas with the rebound. That's really pick your poison if you want to try and shut down one player. Well, sometimes, as you know, that leads to opportunities for others as Nana Fallon gets himself on the board.
His first clean look there, no double. He turned over his left shoulder. Nice hook on the shot.
Yeah, he loves that hook shot, and he finally got one to fall for his first 2 points. Timeout taken here by Princeton with 1:41 left to go in the first, as Bucknell has started to cut down on the Tigers' lead some. Playing a lot better after that last timeout. And what have you noticed from the Bison that have allowed them to start to get some better looks offensively?
We're just playing inside-out basketball, trying to make sure Nana Fallon has a presence in the game, and then playing through him. If Mitch Henderson decides to double, guys have to be ready to take and knock down open shots.
We'll take a look here at some of the games Bucknell has played so far this season. You see Manhattan, strong win over a team that made a nice tournament run a couple of years ago. The big win of the season, 75-72 over Vanderbilt on the road down in Nashville. First win over an SEC team in nearly 10 years. And then recently been alternating wins and losses, hoping to break that pattern though here tonight.
It's going to take a lot more of an effort that they're giving now, but I definitely believe the Bison can pull it off.
Stevens with a spin move. He passes off to Weiss. That's Kennedy. Just great ball movement by the Tigers. They work it inside, going up with a shot, and no good. Getting fouled was Richmond Aririzugo.
Mitch Henderson digging deep into his lineup. Once again, Ari Guzzo has not played in the last 2 games significant minutes.
He'll shoot 2 as he was fouled while shooting. It's the first on the way from Aririzugo is good. So that's his first points of the game. Aririzugo will shoot his second PNC foul shot here in just a minute as Princeton continues to shuffle on personnel. Mike LeBlanc returns to the floor. Aririzugo, as you see, 6'9" center in his senior year. Out of Trenton Catholic High School, not too far from Princeton, New Jersey, originally a native of Ewing. It's the second, so he's now got 2 points, and it's a 6-point lead for the Princeton Tigers with 1:23 left to go in the first half. As they add 1 second back onto the clock here to the officials. Actually, now 1:24, but that's all just minor housekeeping issues.
As you see another possession here, the 1-3-1 defense. Let's see if the Bison can capitalize and pass and score here.
Quick touch pass to the outside. Jones for three. Shot no good. And Alec Brennan able to grab the rebound. Brennan so long at 6'11", 230. And the Tigers really just a long, lengthy team all the way around. Their guards are tall. Their forwards are taller. On the outside, here's Weiss. By the cutting Cook. Now kick out. Brennan thought about a three. Instead, he'll drive in, puts up a floater and knocks it down. Alec Brennan's first 2 points of the game. Make it 32-24.
Not often you see a 6'11" guy take a shot fake and drive down the lane like he's a guard. Very skilled young man.
That's kind of the Princeton way. You got to have the big guys, the little guys, everyone be able to shoot, pass, and cut with the ball. Sestina's shot blocked, and it's taken up here by the Tigers. Shot clock turned off. Inside 20 seconds remaining in the first half. 8-point lead for the Tigers.
It's critical that the Bison get a stop here. The last thing you want to see is Princeton scoring right before the half.
Just all the way around the outside with ball reversal. Ball down on the floor. Zach Thomas grabs it and tried to call timeout, but instead a held ball was called. Possession arrow favoring the Bison with 0.6 seconds remaining. And Thomas, you can see, was right here in front of us, was mouthing timeout, timeout as he grabbed the ball. But instead a jump ball was called. And again, the Bison will take it with the possession arrow. It's going to have to basically be a catch and shoot with just under a second remaining. McKenzie gets it into Brown. He hoists it up, and it is nowhere close. So we'll head into the locker room with the score at 32-24 in favor of the Tigers. Like you said, Abe, the Bison need to come out and play a little bit more crisply in the second half.
Absolutely. Offensively, they just need to tie some things up, get the ball in, and hopefully they can come out with a victory today.
All right, so we'll take a step aside and be back with the Office Depot Office Max halftime report, where Aaron Dugan will help us learn a little bit more about some of the other great sports here at Bucknell University. 32-24 at the half, the Tigers on top.
This is Bucknell's men's basketball on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wyoming Seminary and Fairfield Auto Group.
Welcome back to Bucknell University. Thank you for joining us for some men's basketball tonight on MyTV WQMY. I'm Aaron Dugan, and joining me is a special guest from Bucknell. This is Dan Wernberger, and he is the wrestling coach, and you're off to a fantastic start. How's the season going so far?
Season's going well. You know, we're right in the middle of our season. We're 0-2 in dual meets, but our very first competition of the year was against the #1 team in the country, Oklahoma State. A few days later, we were at #8 team in the country, Lehigh. So it was a quick start for us, a challenging start for a lot of our guys. But we've had 3 tournaments since and done very well in those tournaments. We got 3 guys in the national rankings right now that are top 15 in their weight class. And we got some young talent on our team with a mixture of some good experienced individuals. I mean, 4 out of our 10 starters are true freshmen. So it's a good thing and can be a challenging thing as these guys are transitioning to Division I college wrestling. That can be difficult at times, but at the same time, these guys are ready for it, and it's valuable experience for them. So we're off to a good start. Looking forward to the second half of the year once we start our dual meet season.
Something the whole program is so excited about are the facilities. I've been there. They're brand new. They're beautiful. Tell me about them.
Yeah, I mean, we just moved into the Graham building in August, and it's phenomenal. There's 19,000 square foot of wrestling space, coaches suite, student athlete lounge, full service training room, strength and conditioning. So the kids have everything that they need here. And it says a lot. I've been in all the best facilities in the country, and this is probably, you know, in my opinion, top 3 in the country. And it's just great for these guys just to come into, for me to come into work every day and for these guys to come into work every day and have that kind of environment to train in, I think it brings these guys closer together too. What I noticed here is they're spending more time in the facility. Anytime the guys are spending more time in this facility, that's a good thing. They're ended up working out more, skill instruction more on the mat. They're doing a lot of studying there. The camaraderie with the team builds, the team chemistry builds. Recruiting, obviously, it's a huge uplift for recruiting. Anytime a recruit comes and visits campus and they see a place like Bucknell University, a private school like this, and look at the wrestling facility they have. It's one of the nicest in the country, and we have everyone to thank for that, our administration here, and of course our benefactor Bill Graham, who was behind it. So it's a awesome facility, and it's a great place for these guys to train on a day in, day out basis. But at the same time, you still got to put the time, you still got to put the work in.
Absolutely. So in a few minutes, we're going to be talking to one of your wrestlers, Garrett Hoffman, a Montoursville grad. Sure. What does he bring to the mat?
Oh, the kid's phenomenal. I mean, sky's the limit for him. He's a tireless worker. One thing I know about Garrett, he's one of those true freshmen that's in our starting lineup, one of the four, and I always know what I'm getting with Garrett on a daily basis. And, you can kind of see it and recognize it throughout his high school career, but you don't really know what you're getting until you're around a kid 3-4 months straight, and you see what his practice habits are like, what his character's like, what he brings to the team on a daily basis, and whatever he does in the practice room, that's the same thing he does in competition, and that always equals success. So Garrett's a guy that will always give his most. He's a very determined individual. He's a very competitive individual. So he's got a really, really bright future here. Excellent student at the same time, and he could be one of those guys that breaks through, breaks out of here in the next 4 years as one of our most successful wrestlers in school history. But he's got to put the time in, and his career's just starting. But he's got a bright future for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. We'll talk to Garrett coming up. Stay with us on MyTV WQMY. Welcome back, everyone. Bucknell hosting Princeton tonight. Bison trail the Tigers by 8 at the half. I'm Aaron Dugan, now with a special guest, Garrett Hoffman, a wrestler here at Bucknell. Now, you were a state runner-up at Montoursville last year. What's the transition been like to college for you?
Coming from high school to college, I mean, it's a big transition going against high school competition to college. I mean, it's a lot more intense, and you just have to adapt and pick up your aggressive level in that if you want to succeed and keep your own ground.
Coach had mentioned the brand new facilities, a great way for the team to bond and for you to really get in there and work hard. What are the facilities like?
I mean, I came from a room like 2 mats down in the basement to like one of the best wrestling rooms in the country. I mean, that room is just amazing. Like, Bill Graham was very generous, and he gave us everything we need, and we are able to reach our highest potential and train to our very best in this nice facility.
So you were able to grab your first collegiate win against Lehigh. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, coming into one of our biggest rivals in terms of wrestling against Lehigh, into a hostile, pretty packed crowd, and be able to go down there and get one of the 2 wins down there, especially for my first win against a kid I previously lost to in high school. I mean, it was a big feeling and a great memory I'll have to remember and build off of.
Some great performances as well at some invitationals. Tell me about that.
Going to across the country and wrestling against the best kids in the nation, I mean, it's a lot of fun in that. I mean, no matter what, my plan is to go out there and compete my best. I know what my coaches and my team, they're going to back me up and fight for me no matter what, and that just gives me the confidence to go out there and do my best, which is working so far.
As a true freshman, the sky's the limit. You have 3 years ahead of you. What would you like to accomplish?
Preferably, I want to be a 4-time national champion. I mean, I work my hardest in the mat room and out of the mat room every day, and I push myself to my limits and hopefully reach my goals and give back to my coaches because of what they believe in me.
Hey, Garrett, well, thanks so much for stopping to chat, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, stay with us here on MyTV WQMY. We'll be right back with some stats and highlights from the first half.
And we welcome you back into Soika Pavilion alongside Abe Badmus. I'm Joe Basile. As here at halftime, the Princeton Tigers lead the Bucknell Bison 32-24. And in that first half, Abe, things just seemed a little bit off for the Bison. They had some stretches where they were playing well, but overall the Tigers just kind of had them out of their game a little bit.
Yeah, they double team Nana Fallon. Bison like to play inside out, get the ball inside, play outside, hit some threes. When you double team Nana Fallon, you're taking away half of their offense. That leaves the Bison just to shoot threes. They didn't make them, and that's why they're down.
Although, do have to say on a positive note, Zach Thomas had a terrific first half for the Bison. 11 points, including 3 three-pointers.
Yeah, he's the only one who got off. He got to the line, the only one to shoot the free throws for the Bison in this half. But it's gonna need to take a lot more of an effort from the rest of the Bison for them to come out and get a victory today.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half. So you see, first off, Miles Stevens with a nice dunk for the Tigers, who were hitting shots pretty early on. Not to say that Zach Thomas wasn't doing the same.
Yeah, Zach Thomas really scored in all types of ways, inside, outside. He was a really only bright spot for the Bison in that first half. But as you can also see, Princeton playing stellar defense and also knocking down some timely three-pointers.
Yeah, that three from Spencer Weiss right there was really a shot that helped to turn the tide in favor of Princeton. At that point, both teams were kind of going back and forth, knocking back three and then retaliation three. But that three from Weiss that was from about 25 feet out really helped to turn the tide in that first half. As you take a look here at some of the first half stats, well, yeah, it really tells the story. Princeton, a couple more shots made, and they've got the 8-point halftime lead. They'll have the ball to start half number 2 as well, moving now left to right across the floor. There's Stevens giving to Devin Kennedy, the high scorer, with 9 points for the Princeton Tigers in the first half. Stevens has had himself a nice go of it as well. Out of the floor. There's Pete Miller setting a screen, then rolling to the basket. Weiss didn't pass it to him. Eventually it does come into Miller. 3 on the way, and the shot goes down. Stephen Cook with his second three make of the game.
Another set foot three, set shot three. Can't have that. Bison need to make sure they shore that up on the defensive end.
This is Nate Jones now. Giving to Kimball McKenzie out there with Nana Fallon, Stephen Brown, and Zach Thomas. Here's Brown driving in, a kick out to McKenzie for 3. Does not go down. And Weiss grabs the rebound. So the Tigers looking to try and expand their lead, now up into double digits for the first time today. Pass tip nearly stolen by McKenzie. And then stepping on the line out of bounds is Miles Stevens, a turnover for Princeton.
Bison need to make sure that they go inside here. What you're probably going to see is a little high-low action by the Bison. Going to make a concerted effort to get the ball into Nana Fallon.
Yeah, that high-low game between Zach Thomas as the passer and Nana Fallon down low has been so key to the Bison offense throughout this entire season, but we really haven't seen it be a factor at all today. There's a way that Princeton has defended Fallon. Although there, Pete Miller picks up a foul, and that's going to be number 3 against him. Remember, he picked up 2 fouls quickly in the first half guarding Fallon. Now picks up a third right here, and he seems to be having some trouble, but he goes off to the bench, and they go and are able to find someone who's able to get the job done.
Yeah, you're right. Mitch Henderson has a lot of bigs in the lineup that he can reach and dig into. So you'll see a lot of other bigs coming in the game, and they'll pick up right where anyone else had left off.
Will Gladson came in to replace him. Now here's Fallon working on Gladson. Turnaround hook shot goes down for Fallon. He has 4.
Really patient and good job there by Nana Fallon, turning over to his left shoulder with a nice right-hand hook.
Top of the key, ball controlled by Gladson now. Dribble handoff pass. Went off to Cook. There's good ball movement for Princeton. Into the corner. Weiss driving the baseline on Thomas. Looked to pass out, but Nate Jones there to steal the pass away. Good defense played by the Bison. Out of the outside into the corner. Thomas for 3. 4 3-pointers for Zach Thomas on the game.
It's a really good job by Stephen Brown, penetrating into the lane, making the defense collapse, finding the open man.
Weiss works it inside for Stevens, backing down Nate Jones. Now the jab step. Lost a handle on the ball, and a whistle and a foul called against Nate Jones. Not happy with the whistle.
I think anybody here in this arena could agree that was not a foul.
Down on the floor, so Princeton will just trigger it in. This is Weiss going to send it inbounds. Eventually does get it into Will Gladson. Kennedy back over to Weiss. Took some time off the clock here. Princeton with the 35-29 advantage.
As you see here, the Bison, their matchup defense. Let's see if they can get a stop here.
The outside Kennedy. For Weiss, wide open, corner 3 look for Stevens. Doesn't go down. Jones with the rebound. Now Thomas rushing with it the other way. He could pick up his 5th three-pointer on this possession if he wants to. Instead, he'll dump it down low for Fallon. Pass got tipped, then went off of Fallon's hands and out of bounds. That'll be Princeton ball.
Zach Thomas had the right idea. He knew he wanted to feed Nana. He saw he's getting some confidence, but he just couldn't grab onto it.
So Tigers back to it on offense. You see the movement away from the ball, the frequent ball reversals characteristic of the Princeton offense. Stevens down in the corner, up top for Gladson. Feeds Kennedy on the outside. And again, as we've mentioned, it's not the traditional Princeton offense run by the Tigers anymore. He's driving in and drawing the foul with Spencer Weiss. He'll head to the free throw line and try for a three-point play.
You're absolutely right, Joe. There's a lot more freedom in this offense than you're accustomed to seeing a Princeton team do. However, when they have the talent, they can do it.
Take another look. Here's Jones called for the block.
Spencer Weiss with the nice Euro step, trying to make a three-point play here.
PNC foul shot on the way from Weiss goes down. He has 8. 38-29, Princeton in the lead. As you get a quick look at Mitch Henderson, who of course played here at Princeton University, graduated in 1998. He played under Pete Carrill and Bill Carmody, then coached under Bill Carmody at Northwestern as an assistant for 11 years.
True story, Joe. Mitch Henderson actually recruited me when I was in high school in Chicago.
And what was he trying to sell you on coming out to Northwestern? And what was the difference between you going to Northwestern, a Big Ten school, and of course Bucknell here in the Patriot League?
I knew I was going to play right away.
Stolen by Kennedy. And the dunk.
Devin Kennedy keeping his head up. Made a really nice defensive play. Crucial mistake by the Bison.
Here's Stephen Brown, 40-29. Princeton on top. Thomas driving in, off balance. He goes down and gets fouled as he hoisted one towards the bucket. Take another look here at that steal.
Devin Kennedy just keeping the head up with a nice two-handed dunk.
Zach Thomas to the free throw line. Shoot PNC Bank foul shots, 2 of those coming in. Thomas already with 14 points in the game. Good on number 1. Continues his hot streak from the free throw line this season, now over 85% on the year. And Thomas, number 2 in the Patriot League in terms of free throws made and free throws attempted. Only Tim Kempton from Lehigh is ahead of him in that category. Second on the way, good from Thomas. He now has 16 of Bucknell's 31 points. And it's a 40-31 advantage for Princeton, back down to single digits.
Bison need to bog down here and get some stops in the second half.
Ariri Guzzo's shot doesn't fall, but Stevens there for the rebound. Now Weiss with a fresh shot clock. Send it around the outside. Driving in, Aaron Young. So the double team come around, instead passed it out. 14 to shoot. Good ball movement again. Young in the corner with an open look for 3. Knocks it down. Aaron Young's first 3 points of the contest.
Can't leave this man open. He can do that time and time again.
Here's Thomas. Clearing out some space. Finds Brown, guarded tightly by Young. Brown's been pretty quiet offensively. No points yet. Inside for Fallon. The hook shot doesn't go. But a foul, and Nana will head to the free throw line.
As you see there, no double team. Nana had a clean look, and he's going to the line. Hopefully he can convert these 2.
Foul goes against Ariri's Guzzo. We'll head to a break. Princeton up by 12.
And Devin Kennedy with the steal and the flush on my TV.
There is no better way to ring in the new year than with a new vehicle. Stop in and check out Fairfield Auto Group's year-end sale going on right now through January 3rd. Their absolute lowest prices of the year. Also, for the very best team outside of the Bison, work with Edwards Business Systems for all your document technology needs. Providing the best of Xerox products and services, Edwards Business Systems fast-forward document solutions and are a slam dunk Edwards Business Systems and Xerox, a proud partner of Bucknell Athletics. Nana Fallon to the free throw line with Princeton leading 43-31. A little over 15 minutes left to play. Let's see what Nate Davis had to say to his team during that last time out to try and again get them back a little bit sharper. They looked good for a little bit right out of the gate, but the Tigers able to quickly adjust and get the lead back up. Fallon's first free throw, no good.
Bison are really just allowing the Princeton Tigers to drive and kick to the open man on the perimeter. That is the bread and butter of the Princeton Tigers. Bison need to really bog down, keep their man in front of them, and grab their rebounds and every single time down on the floor.
Nana Fallon's good on the second. So we take another look at Mitch Henderson, the man sitting just off to his left on that last shot, former New Jersey Net, Kerry Kittles, one of the most popular guys around Princeton's campus in his first year as an assistant coach for the Tigers. Outside for three, Young with a heat check, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds, last touch by the Tigers.
That definitely looked like a set play that they wanted to run for Young. Good thing for the Bison, he didn't connect. That is a shot that he can definitely make.
Princeton up by 11, just about 15 left to play. There's McKenzie running the point for the Bison. Guarded by Young on the outside. They're with Avi Toomer, Nate Sestina, Zach Thomas, and Matt O'Reilly. McKenzie finds Toomer. Now it's over to Thomas. They dump it inside for Sestina, puts it on the floor once. Tried to dunk it home and didn't, but they whistled the play dead. There's a foul down on the floor ahead of time.
It's good to see a guy as big as Nate Sestina having a presence in the interior. I know he likes to play in the perimeter, but it's time for him to take advantage of his size.
Bison will inbound. Get it into Sestina on the outside. Then he passes quickly along for McKenzie. McKenzie with just 3 points so far today. Here's Thomas from the corner. Shot no good. And it's rebounded by Kennedy. Up ahead, dribbling between the legs. Worked on by McKenzie. They back it out again. To the corner pass nearly got away from Kennedy. He passed it right along for Stephen Cook. Now Bell will try and drive in. Step back shot goes down.
Amir Bell just using his size there, getting where to his sweet spot, and a nice follow through and finish.
Here's Sestina on the inside, guarded by Ariguza. Shot doesn't go down. Princeton able to get it off the front of the rim. 14 minutes left to play. The Tigers up by 13. Here's Cook, passing off to Young in the corner. Good. Just all five players touching the ball in this possession. Ariguzo's shot doesn't fall, but Thomas grabs the rebound. It seems, Abe, like Zach Thomas just determined to try and put this team on his back and bring him back into this contest.
Yeah, he's definitely being aggressive, but he's definitely also finding his teammates.
Thomas driving in, trying to pass off and ended up getting fouled. The block goes against the Tigers. Take a look at these two teams shooting from beyond the arc. Quite frankly, right around their season averages. Princeton at 40%, Bucknell a little better than 35%. Though the Tigers got off to a very slow start from three and then have started to turn it on as of late.
Absolutely, and if you put that in conjunction with the inefficiency that the Bison are scoring from the field, that's why the lead is so large right now.
Brown controlling and giving off to Sestina in the left corner. Now it's Brown again, trying to drive the baseline, had nowhere to go, instead passes to Thomas. Sestina in the high post, fadeaway shot, hits the front of the rim and doesn't go down.
You can tell he got the ball where he wanted to, but Sestina probably is better suited to get the ball closer to the basket and finish with his nice size and skill.
And the Bison just can't seem to buy a bucket here over the last couple of minutes. Every shot seems to hit off the rim and then go right to the Tigers. In the corner, here's Cook. Dribbling and handoff for Amir Bell. Crossover, goes up from behind the free throw line, no good. And there's Thomas to grab the rebound again. Number 8 for Zach. He drives in, dumps off for Sestina. Pass got tipped, it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Princeton. Nana Fallon will come back in, so will Bruce Moore. Meanwhile, Miles Stevens will return for the Tigers. They lead it by 13 with 12.5 left to go.
Look for a guy like Nana Fallon to get involved early as he just got subbed into the game.
And get it into Fallon right in the corner. Then a pass around for McKenzie. Seems like this length of Princeton has just caused all kinds of trouble for the Bison here today. Continuing to here in the second half. Here's Stephen Brown. Getting double teamed, nearly losing the ball. Instead passing to McKenzie, who launches on a catch and shoot for three at the end of the shot clock. No good, and Princeton grabs the board.
Definitely exactly what the Princeton Tigers want. They do not want Nana Fallon to have a presence in this game, and they're making the Bison pay for it by shooting from the perimeter.
There's Stevens for the Tigers. Taking it inside, feeding on open Bell in the corner, and Amir Bell can't knock it down. Fallon grabs the rebound and draws a foul. With 11:46 left to go in the second half, we'll take a timeout. 45-32, Princeton on top. PNC Bank is proud to support Bucknell University and equally proud to support financial achievement here in Northeast and Central Pennsylvania. Find out more at pnc.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, National Association member, FDIC. And now we join the third member of our broadcast crew today, Aaron Dugan. Aaron?
Well, guys, it's definitely a turning point at this time of the season for Bucknell. After this game, they head into Christmas break, and when they come back, it's all about Patriot League play. They hit the road, start off against a very good Navy team on the 30th, then travel to American and Holy Cross. Then they come back home for Lehigh, Colgate, and Loyola, Maryland, which you can see right here on my TV, WQMY. Guys?
Thank you very much, Aaron. Doesn't get a whole lot easier as you start to get into Patriot League play for the Bison from here on out. Again, as you take a look, still this year, 8-4 in their first 12 non-league games. A vast improvement over last year where they went 3-10. But obviously, Abe would really like to go into that Christmas break with a victory.
Absolutely, Joe. This is the type of game where if you lose, you're going into the new year on a sad note. No one wants to do that. See if the Bison can pick it up in this second half.
Stevens with the jam running in. And everyone up on the Tigers bench. 47-32, Princeton on top with 11.5 to play. So Abe, what does Bucknell have to do? And not to keep harping on it, what do they have to do to get back in the game and try and come away with a win?
Well, everything starts on the defensive end. You get good stops and play through your best players, Zach Thomas and Nana Fallon, you'll see a really close game towards the latter end of this second half.
Stephen Brown gets a shot to fall for his first 2 points of the game. 47-34 with 11 left to go. On the outside, here's Bell. Getting off, here's Stevens now, driving in. Miles Stevens, shot no good as he ended up slipping down to the ground. And the Bison in transition. 4-on-4 as Brown fakes to the hoop and will back it out. Feeding Fallon in the high post. 15 to shoot. Inside for Fallon, getting double teamed. Spin to the inside, pass along the baseline. McKenzie for three. It's good and one. Kimball McKenzie with a chance for a 4-point play.
That is the exact type of possession that you'd like to see from the Bison coming out of a timeout. Nana Fallon getting double teamed, gets it to the open man, Kimball McKenzie with the shot and the foul with a chance for a 4-point play.
So McKenzie to the line. Foul goes against Spencer Weiss. Second personal foul. McKenzie try and complete the 4-point play. The PNC free throw, no good. So they'll have to settle for making it a 10-point game with 10:24 left to go.
Really small lineup out here for the Tigers.
That might be something the Bison could take advantage of.
Potentially.
Kennedy for three, it's good. And maybe that happens. 14 points for Devin Kennedy. Now Nate Jones in transition, a three, it's good.
Mitch Henderson is really trying to spread the Bison out, take advantage of the small size, and perhaps get a guy like Nana Fallon out of the game.
Here's Weiss finding a nice cutting back door. Stephen Cook, shot no good. And a foul is called as tried to grab the rebound and then got fouled. As Cook got hacked right on the arm.
Coach Henderson saw enough of that small ball, going back with the big guy in this lineup.
Now went against Stephen Brown, his first. Now a nice backdoor cut down low, and with the jam, it was Stephen Cook. That was a classic Princeton play there. Find the guy cutting along the baseline, feed a nice bounce pass into him. Now Brown driving in, draws a foul.
It's good to see a guy like Stephen Brown be aggressive at this point of the game, but really the effect that he can truly make is on the defensive end. The Bison just aren't communicating, and they're getting the Princeton Tigers wide open baskets.
Foul went against Stephen Cook. That's number 9 against the Tigers, so one more, and the Bison will be in the double bonus. Cook's first is good, or rather, Brown's first is good. Matt O'Reilly checks into the game for Kimball McKenzie after the first PNC free throw. So now Brown will try and hit the second and make it a 10-point game once again. And he is. Good on number 2 is the junior from Manassas, Virginia. Gets it back to a 10-point game. He has 4 points all here in the second half. Up top, here's Steve Cook. Drives in on Matt O'Reilly and draws the foul.
That's a matchup that Stephen Cook will take every day, taking advantage of the experience level of a young guy like Matt O'Reilly.
4th team foul against the Bison here in the second half. Number 2 against O'Reilly overall. 2 shots coming up here for Cook. 56% foul shooter this season. First PNC free throw on the way is good. Cook had 30 against Monmouth earlier in the week. He's got 9 so far today, the reigning Ivy League Player of the Week. So Avi Toomer comes back in for Bucknell. Some fans here at Soika Pavilion trying to distract Cook as he goes up for number 2 and knocks it down. He has 10. Becoming the second Tiger in double figures today. He and Devin Kennedy. So here's Stephen Brown. Feeding Thomas on the left wing side. 54-42 the score in favor of Princeton. Tuver, a shimmy move and a pass off. Now Thomas in the high post with 10 to shoot. Foul called. It's away from the ball. Looks like Will Gladson gets the foul.
Nana Fallon really working hard in the post to get the basketball. They're denying him, and hopefully he can capitalize here at the free throw line.
And at least the good news for Fallon here in the second half, it's just one field goal made as he hits the first PNC free throw out of 2. But he's starting to draw some more fouls against his defenders, which might force Princeton to back off of him a little bit.
Absolutely, and it'll get him to the free throw line as well. I don't know how as long as he capitalizes at the free throw line, they'll cut into this lead.
Goes 1 of 2 there. He now has 6 points inside 9 minutes to play. Princeton with an 11-point lead. Into the corner for Spencer Weiss. Ball knocked away by Avi Toomer and stolen by Bucknell. Up ahead for Thomas. Driving in to the outside for O'Reilly. Quick touch. It's Thomas along the baseline. Lost the ball and taken by Princeton.
Bison had him scrambling. However, that tap back got him a turnover.
On the outside, it's Stevens. Back up top for Will Gladson. The Tigers slowing down the tempo of the game. For 3, no good from Spencer Weiss. Stephen Brown with the rebound. Brown slicing. O'Reilly for 3, good.
That's why he's in the game. knocked down with the open three. Hopefully they can convert here and get another stop on the defensive end.
Lead cut down to 8 points. It's getting loud here in Soika, and a timeout taken by Mitch Henderson. 7:49 to go here in the second. We'll take a timeout with him.
Matt O'Reilly with the nice follow through and the flush on my TV.
Wyoming Seminary was voted the #1 private school in northeastern Pennsylvania for grades toddler through 12 and postgraduate. SEM has it all: challenging academics, diverse arts, championship athletics, and activities for every interest with local and boarding students from all over the world. Call or visit today. It's WyomingSeminary.org. As we welcome you back into the Soika Pavilion alongside Abe Badmus, I'm Joe Basile. Aaron Dugan roaming the sidelines for us tonight as well. Bison starting to put together a little bit of a run. They've sliced the Princeton lead down to just 8 points with 7:49 left to go. And Abe, as you know, that's plenty of time and a whole lot of basketball to go from here on out. The Bison starting to look better over the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they're starting to take the defensive possessions a little serious and forcing the Princeton Tigers into some bad decisions. It's going to take a monstrous effort to cut into this lead so they can win the game.
See an update on free throws for both teams. Princeton knocking them down at an 82% clip. Bucknell just at 60% in this game to this point. Devin Kennedy controls out of the timeout for Princeton. Now here's Amir Bell in the corner. Bell dribbling back up top, 10 to shoot. Stevens driving the baseline and nowhere to go, so he backs it out. 5 to shoot as it comes back to Bell. Now Kennedy launching off balance for 3, shot no good. Rebound tips off of Avi Toomer's hands and goes out of bounds. He was off balance trying to go up for it. Ended up tipping it forward out of bounds. It'll stay with Princeton.
It's a very encouraging possession though, Joe. They got him to take a contested three-pointer with less than 5 seconds left in the clock. That's exactly how the Bison should be playing defense.
We'll take another timeout. We've reached the under 8. 54-46. Princeton has the lead. At Bucknell, there's only one way to gear up for college at prices that any Bison can appreciate. Shop at Office Depot Office Max, the official office product supplier for Bucknell Athletics. And of course, when you need the very best document technology, you work with a partner who can cover the corners, rush the basket, and deliver the points. Edwards Business Systems and the Fast Forward Document Solutions are a slam dunk, providing the best of Xerox products and services to Bucknell Athletics and your company. Edwards Business Systems and Xerox, now that's a team. Princeton leads at 54-46 out of the half as you see John Griffin chatting things over with Nathan Davis. As Princeton will take it aside inbound here out of the timeout.
I'm sure John Griffin's telling him to put him into the game.
Maybe he can hit a buzzer beater right at the end of the game. That's something he has back in his arsenal. Instead, the Tigers will swing it around and tick some time off the clock. Nice luxury to have. You're up with about 7 minutes to go. Here's Alec Brennan controlling. He's got 3 fouls out there for Princeton. Now driving in, and Steve Cook got fouled on his way to the basket.
That looked like they were trying to ISO Stephen Cook on Kimball McKenzie, and they succeeded in getting him to the foul line.
Foul goes against McKenzie. That's number 2 against him, number 5 against Bucknell. So Steve Cook heads to the free throw line. Second time to shoot his PNC Bank foul shots. Cook in his first trip went 2 for 2. First on the way is good. Now has 11, the team's leading scorer, and just over 15 points per game. Cook's second goes down as well. Is 12, second most on the Princeton Tigers. There's Stephen Brown to the near side for Thomas, but it's stolen away by Cook. A great play by Cook just to reach his hands out and steal that one away.
Stephen Brown had two options on that play. He had a crackback with Matt O'Reilly, who was wide open. He decided to skip it and turn the ball over.
Now Cook driving in, goes up with a shot, got fouled and won. Was able to finish after he got hacked up top. Goes against Zach Thomas.
This senior leader is just finding his way through the lane, elevation, the finish, and the foul.
30-second timeout taken. 6:36 left to go, and Princeton back up by 12 as we work here. And what is the message right now? Take us, if you will, inside the huddle right now for the Bison.
Nathan Davis is basically telling his guys, stay in front of the ball. Move your feet, don't reach, don't foul. This is something that they have to do. And on the offensive end, let's get the ball, be unselfish, inside, outside, and hopefully they can knock down some shots.
See if they're able to do that. Princeton breaking through the huddle now and getting set. Free throws for Stephen Cook. Trying to complete a three-point play. 58-46, Princeton has the lead. Bucknell led very early in this game. But then Princeton started to heat up from the floor after a cold start. Haven't looked back. Free throw no good. And it's rebounded by Miana Fallon. 6.5 left to play. Stephen Brown controls. More quick touch for McKenzie, now inside to Fallon. Getting double teamed. Pass around, here's Brown. Jab step, and he'll back it back out. Brown inside to Fallon through contact. No whistle, would play through. And now whistling a foul against Kimball McKenzie.
That's a very good job defensively. Early help and active hands getting the fumble for Nana Fallon to turn the ball over.
7th-team foul against the Bison, so a 1-and-1 coming here for Stephen Cook. Zach Thomas will check back in, so will Nate Jones, as Bruce Moore and Matt O'Reilly head off to the bench. Cook back to the free throw again for another PNC Bank foul shot. On its way, it's no good on number 1, so he doesn't get a chance at a second. Stephen Brown bringing it forward, with a little bit of urgency in his step. Feeds Fallon. Now it's Brown again. Off-ball screen from Thomas. He pops to the outside. Now will drive in. Goes up with a shot, no good. And the rebound goes to Princeton.
Zach Thomas definitely looking for a foul on that play. You can see the frustration in Nate Davis's face as the ref runs down the floor.
Alec Brennan on the outside, a handoff to Miles Stevens. And a bell at the top of the key. Looking for a cutter somewhere, finds Devin Kennedy up top with 8 to shoot. Goes into Cook, goes up with a shot, no good, and a foul in the fight for the rebound. It's gonna go against Princeton. There'll be 2 shots coming up as Bucknell's in the double bonus, and Zach Thomas will head to the line. Alec Brennan picks up his 4th personal foul.
Look for the Bison to pick up the intensity defensively here. You probably see a full court or 3/4 court extension after hopefully the 2 made free throws by Zach Thomas.
And you remember back right at the beginning of the first half, right out of the gate in the game, Bucknell was playing right up in the face of every Princeton player. And then they kind of backed off of that as the game went on. You think they'll return kind of back to that kind of pressure on the defensive half?
You would hope so. Offense affects defense and vice versa. The result of the missed shots probably is a big reason why you saw the lack of intensity on the defensive end.
Thomas good on the first, so now he gets a chance to hit both at the line. And both PNC free throws go down for Zach Thomas, who has a game-high 18 points. Princeton going to push the tempo a little bit here. It's Kennedy. Controls on the outside, guarded tightly by Brown. Back for Bell. Driving in, now a kick out for Stevens. Stevens inside, a beautiful spin move, but the shot doesn't go down. Thomas grabs the rebound. Here's Brown with a burst of speed. Leaves back for Thomas, a 3.
Great recognition by Stephen Brown there. He saw Zach Thomas trailing him and knocked down the three-pointer.
21 points for Zach Thomas. 58-51. Princeton leads. 4:41 to go. Driving the baseline. Cook into the corner for Kennedy. Now Weiss on the outside. Good bounce pass down low, and Miles Stevens finishes.
Bison were just caught scrambling there. Just couldn't recover quick enough as the ball was moved around way too fast by the Princeton Tigers.
Stephen Brown. Guarded by Amir Bell. Finds Nana Fallon. Few dribbles in. Look for somewhere to go with the ball. Here's Thomas. Rainbowing inside for Brown. And a foul. Fallon's shot was good, but the foul happened well before. Of course, no continuation here in the college game.
They have to recognize that quicker, Joe. Small lineup in here by Princeton. Nana Fallon is the tallest, biggest player on the floor. He needs to get the ball early in the shot clock.
So Fallon to the line to shoot two. 2 for 4 from the charity stripe in the game today. First on the way is good. He now has 7 points, the junior from Reading, Pennsylvania. Richmond, Ariri Guzzo checks back in for Princeton. Fallon's second, good too. So he hits both PNC Bank foul shots, make it a 7-point game, 60-53. The Tigers still on top with 4 minutes to play.
Big possession here, Joe. Big possession defensively. Let's see what the Bison do as they're trying to climb back into this game.
Come out in the man-to-man. Bell drives in on Jones. Fade away, no good, but the rebound tipped out long to Bell. And into a set play, go the Princeton Tigers.
Nothing hurts more than that, seeing an offensive rebound after forcing the team into a bad shot.
Kennedy gets a screen from Weiss. Off the pick and pop, back to him. Outside, Cook for 3. He knocks it down.
Penetration and dish, that's the name of the game for the Princeton Tigers. They played that perfectly there offensively.
Stephen Brown drives in, backs out, pops and locks.
It's really important the Bison get a stop here defensively. It helps the morale and also helps them cut into this lead and not having to play catch up every time down on the floor on offense.
And not having to retaliate rather than trying to put together a run. Kennedy on the outside to Bell. Here's Cook driving in on McKenzie. His shot is no good. Good job by Fallon's coming over as a second defender. Now Brown the other way. There was the stop that you needed, Abe. Outside for Jones. Long 2, doesn't go. Princeton up by 8.
That's a look I'm sure the Bison like. However, the ball never got to one of the better shooters on the Bison.
Spencer Weiss just letting time tick off. Now with 12 to shoot into the offense. Go the Princeton Tigers. Kennedy controlling. 6 to shoot. Pulls up from 3. Shot no good. Rebound up for grabs. Zach Thomas comes in and grabs it. Thomas, 21 points and a double-double today. Now he drives, a spin move to the middle. Has his shot blocked. Ariri Guzzo.
Just way too predictable there. Everyone knew where he was going to with the ball, and he turned it over pretty quickly.
On the outside, Bell gives back for Cook. And again, the Tigers will tick time off inside 2 minutes remaining in the game.
There is no better offense to waste time and dig into the shot clock better than the Princeton offense.
Amir Bell, a spin move. Pass tipped by Fallon. It's loose down on the floor, taken by the Tigers, and there's going to be a 30-second violation. They waved off the shot, so if it fell, it wouldn't have mattered. 1:29 left. This
is a must-score situation. You see Nate Davis bringing in the sharpshooter Matt O'Reilly. Hopefully they can capitalize and drop a good play and get a score here.
Minute 29 remaining, 63-55. Princeton over Bucknell. We'll be back. Wyoming Seminary was voted the #1 private school in northeastern Pennsylvania for grades toddler through 12 and postgraduate. USM has it all. Challenging academics, diverse arts, championship athletics, activities for every interest, and is both local and boarding students from all over the world. Call or visit us today. A minute 29 remain here in the game. 63-55 the score in favor of the Princeton Tigers. As both teams huddling up here in the final media timeout of this game. And Abe, it just seems like the Tigers have had the lead. They keep it going, but the Bison are just right on the edge of potentially opening this one up.
Yeah, they just need to put a few strings of good possessions together. They just haven't quite gotten there. 2 possessions good, 2 bad. 1 good, 1 bad. Just haven't put that 3, 4, 5 good possession string together.
They're going to have to do so quickly if they want to erase this 8-point deficit with 89 seconds left to play. Stephen Brown controlling. Brown finds O'Reilly for 3. It's good.
The same exact play they ran earlier in the game, and this time, Stephen Brown didn't turn it over.
Just a 5-point lead for Princeton now, as they'll go back into the offense to waste time off the clock. Bison have to try and force them to get up a shot quickly or make a mistake.
Looks like Mitch Henderson likes this small lineup. He's going to finish with this lineup. As you see a mismatch here with Amir Bell, and he's being guarded by 6'8", Nana Fallon. Driving in, Bell to the basket, shot goes down. It rolled all over the rim and then came down. 65-58, timeout taken by Bucknell with 48.6 seconds remaining. We'll take another look at the O'Reilly 3. Yeah, Matt O'Reilly, we call that a crackback screen. Came around, nice follow through and the finish. And now the Bison are really forced to make a decision. They're going to play against a small lineup. Are they going to keep Nana Fallon in the game, or are they going to keep him out and make sure they can match up on the defensive end?
In addition to all the choices we have to offer you, buying a new or used vehicle from one of our dealerships affords you other amazing benefits too. When you buy a car from Fairfield Auto Group, you get the Fairfield Advantage. Fairfield for fair deals. Bucknell trying to get themselves a fair deal here inside a minute remaining, trailing by 7. Certainly not out of the question to come back here as Nate Jones devising up a scheme offensively. Out of the timeout, Stephen Brown will inbound from the near side.
You're probably going to see a quick score. It's probably going to take no longer than 6 to 8 seconds for them to get a shot up. Hopefully it goes in, and they can get a good defensive stop.
They get it into Fallon, and he gets fouled. Spencer Weiss.
Couldn't have gone any better for the Bison there. They put Nana Fallon on the line, and we'll see whether or not Nate Davis decides to stay with him or sub him out so he can go small and match up with the Princeton Tigers.
Third foul against Weiss in the game. Fallon to the free throw line. As I mentioned, Fallon under 50% for the free throw line on the season. As the first goes down for him. He's got 9 now in the game. But that being said, inside of 5 minutes, Brown is 10 of 13 coming into this game, which is just about 77%. And that's true throughout the entire Bison. They shoot so well from the line inside of 5 minutes this year.
That's right. Mitch Henderson going even smaller, bringing Aaron Young into the game. This is the ultra small lineup. We'll see how the Bison fare here.
5-point lead for Princeton. Kennedy inside, draws a foul. Nana Fallon was trying to steal it away from him and harass him on his way to the basket. Number 2 against Fallon, and that's 8 against the Bison here in the half. A 1-and-1 coming for Kennedy, as Matt O'Reilly will return in favor of Nate Jones.
We call that an offensive-defensive substitution there. Matt O'Reilly coming in because of his ability to knock down shots from the three-point line.
So back to the line, Devin Kennedy. 14 points so far today. Again, a 96% free throw shooter on the season, shooting 1-and-1. First PNC foul shot is good. Tigers back up by 6. Davis watching intently. Number 2. No good. Rebound, Zach Thomas. Up ahead, Stephen Brown. Inside 32 to play. Brown driving in, up with a shot, no good, but he got fouled.
Same exact play they ran in that previous timeout. This time, Stephen Brown decided to go right to the basket, draws a foul. Hopefully he can convert and get two here.
Amir Bell picks up his first personal foul for Princeton. As Stephen Brown heads back to the free throw line. He's got 6 points so far today, all of them in the second half. So shoot 2 PNC Bank foul shots. First on the way. That's good. Nate Jones will come back in.
Mitch Henderson going with Aaron Young for Amir Bell here. Aaron Young is a knockdown shooter. Keep your eye on him because if they get to the lane, he might be wide open for a three-pointer.
30.8 seconds remain as Brown goes up with number 2. It's no good. Rebound up in the air, and Zach Thomas threw it off a Princeton defender, but they say he stepped on the line first. It'll be Princeton ball. Avi Toomer comes back on as Matt O'Reilly heads to the bench for the Bison. Will come out in a full court pressure. 29.7 seconds remaining. 5-point lead for Princeton. And a foul quickly. Zach Thomas going to pick up the personal, his third. That's number 9 against the Bison. So again, still just a 1-and-1 here for Princeton on the other end with 28.2 seconds remaining. 2 big free throws coming up here for Aaron Young. Young a perfect 4 for 4 from the line this season. Well, that coming against Liberty back on the 10th of December. So Young set for his first PNC Bank foul shot. No good. Princeton can't grab the rebound. It goes to Bucknell. Down by 5. Brown takes it across. Brown nearly carried. Said he drives in. Leaves it up for Fallon, but it's taken away by the Tigers. And a foul here by Thomas.
Stephen Brown wanted to throw the lob to Nana Fallon, but Stephen Cook saw that coming a mile away and tapped it away for the steal.
Thomas with his 4th foul, number 10 against Bucknell. 16.9 seconds to go as we'll take another look.
As you see, Stephen Brown saw the help, but he also didn't see the helper's help in Stephen Cook. And now the Princeton Tigers are extending their lead.
Young's first PNC Bank foul shot is good. And when we saw Zach Thomas after the foul, kind of said right to the official, how was that not a foul down on that end? After looking at the replay, your thoughts?
He probably has a case, but at this point, he's got to worry more about converting buckets and getting stops.
Aaron Young hit them both. 68-61, Princeton with the lead. Brown pulls up for 3, got it. Stephen Brown with 10 and a timeout.
Big time shot there, Joe. Going full speed, stopping on a dime and hitting a three-pointer. That's pretty big time. As you see here, he elevates. Nice rotation on the shot, and he cuts the lead to 4 for the Bison.
Pressure time here for Bucknell, trying to win their final non-conference game of the season. So take a look around the Patriot League. Bucknell in first place with 8-4 mark so far in non-conference play. Lehigh, the preseason favorites according to the coaches poll before the season at 5-5. They were up on Division III Cabrini tonight. Pretty big, up by 20 at halftime against them. After them, Loyola Maryland, Army, Navy, Boston, Holy Cross, Lafayette American. It's going to be another tough year in the Patriot League. And for Bucknell to come in with a solid winning record into league play, to give yourself some momentum heading into that is always very important.
You're absolutely right, Joe. Those types of wins will carry a team throughout all the struggles, the ups and downs, the malaise of a long Patriot League season.
11.6 seconds remain. Bucknell into the full court press. Thomas, the man right up on Spencer Weiss. He bounces it in. And a foul. Quickly here, it's Stephen Brown picking it up for the Bison.
Pretty good foul there. They didn't cut too much time off of the clock. Let's hopefully they'll miss a few and we'll get a chance to cut into this lead a little bit more.
Devin Kennedy to the line. Not the guy that you want there if you're Bucknell. Again, at 95% on the season, but 4 of 6 in this game. He's missed twice.
Every time he said 95%, he's missed.
It's the old broadcaster's jinx, I suppose, as the first from Kennedy is good. He has 16 points in the game, along with 7 rebounds and an assist. Zach Thomas leads all scorers with 21 points, 11 rebounds as well. Second from Kennedy, good. 6-point lead, 70-64. Brown quickly across, pulls up for 3, bang! 3-point game. 3.5 to play. Timeout taken by the Tigers.
Another big time shot by Stephen Brown.
70-67, as after the timeout by Princeton, about a 1.5 seconds ran off the clock, so they'll have to go and reset that as we take another look at the bucket made by Stephen Brown.
Just to have the ability to stop on the dime, elevate, shoot a 3-pointer like that, that's going to set him apart for years to come.
So with 3.5 seconds left, down by 3, I mean, it's one of those situations where you need something special to happen on the floor if you're the Bison. But what a comeback they've had. They were down by 13 not 5-6 minutes ago.
They're finally playing Bison basketball. The problem is that it might be a little too late. However, they have an opportunity here. They want to deny full court, and they also want to make sure they don't foul. They don't foul in a form that it's going to seem like they do it intentionally. But as soon as the ball's inbounded, they want to get the ball and make sure that they foul right away and see if they can miss some free throws.
That is, of course, if they can't just come away with a clean steal. Obviously, off the inbound, they've got Stephen Brown out there with Kimball McKenzie, Zach Thomas, Matt O'Reilly, and Nana Fallon, the 3-point shooting unit, out on the floor, needing that to tie and potentially send this one to overtime. Really everyone except for Fallon, very solid 3-point shooter, and that's just because Fallon hasn't attempted a 3 all year.
And the reason you see a guy like Nana Fallon in the game is because in the situation that they get a quick stop, you want to have a guy like Nana Fallon defending the scoring the basketball. Yep. And then you also want him right on the ball to deter a clean pass from the inbound.
4.5 seconds remaining. They put some extra time back on. It comes in, and Fallon will foul Devin Kennedy. So now Kennedy will shoot 2 with 3.5 seconds remaining. Nate Jones will come back in for Bucknell. Nana, his 3rd personal foul, although at this stage in the game, it's only relevant if we head into overtime. Kennedy to shoot 2 PNC Bank free throws. Making noise here in Soika. Kennedy's first, good. A 4-point game. Jones comes back in. Fallon heads off the floor. Now Princeton take their players off the blocks and just get back on defense. Matt O'Reilly standing all by himself down in the corner for Bucknell.
Don't say it too loud now, Joe. Maybe you can stay open.
Kennedy's second is good. 19 points for Devin Kennedy. Brown quickly across. 1 second. Launches a 3 and hits it. But the Bison still fall 2 points short. Stephen Brown, 3 threes in a row to give him 16 points, but not enough as the Bison fall to the Princeton Tigers 72-70 here tonight, Abe.
Yeah, that was a game that, it really just didn't, the ball just didn't roll our way. We started off pretty slow, and we never really could catch up after Princeton made that run. And Princeton knows how to close out a game, especially with that offense that they have.
And they certainly did. Close out very well here tonight is moment. Nate Davis will join Aaron Dugan, the 3rd member of our broadcast crew. Here tonight is, again, the Bison put together a nice charge. Again, they were trailing by 8 with about 1.5 minutes left to go and cut it down to 2. Just not enough. So now we send it to Aaron Dugan, standing by on the other side of this break. And the Office Depot Office Mix postgame show right after this.
This is Bucknell's men's basketball on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wyoming Seminary and Fairfield Auto Group.
Welcome back, everyone. Princeton taking down Bucknell 72-70 at home tonight. Coach, a valiant effort down the stretch, but it seems like some missed shots in the first half may have just been a little bit too late.
Yeah, well, I think obviously Princeton's got a good team. I think our guys, like you said, made a valiant effort. I have no complaints about the effort we play with. I thought we really competed the entire game. You mentioned we missed some good looks early on. We made a few too many mistakes that led to baskets for them, and that was the difference in the game.
Heading into Christmas break, I know you said they're going to have 3 days off now. Some very important games coming up after the break. When you look at the first half of the season, what's the most important thing you want to take into Patriot League play?
Well, I think the toughness we've displayed to never give up, to stick together and fight till the end, I think that's a big part of it. I think that we played a tough schedule, so we've been challenged. We know what we need to work on. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I wish we were playing sooner. That's the way it goes. We got to wait till the 30th, but this is what it's all about. It's about winning the Patriot League, and that's what's at hand. We got to get better and ready to go on the 30th.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bob? Joe? Sorry.
This broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Bucknell Sports Properties and Bucknell University. Rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Bucknell Sports Properties is prohibited. And so, Abe Badmus, any final thoughts on tonight's game, again, outside of what head coach Nathan Davis just had to say? Again, happy with the effort of the team, just came up short, but kept fighting right through the end, and were able to make this one just a 2-point contest with that final shot by Stephen Brown.
Nathan Davis was absolutely right. Princeton's a really, really good team. Their record is not indicative of that, but you saw today, when they really get it going, even in a game where they don't shoot the lights out, they can control the game from beginning to end. The Bison just couldn't connect on enough shots early on in the game, and then when they finally realized they needed to play serious, it was too late.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes for the Bison. Next time we'll talk to you will be on January 18th as the Bison host Loyola, Maryland in a Patriot League contest. Game coverage starting at 7 p.m. right here on MyTV WQMY. And so for Aaron Dugan roaming the sidelines tonight, my partner Abe Badmus, and the Fox 56 sports crew, my name is Joe Basile. Final score, final time, 72 for Princeton and 70 for Bucknell. Good night from Lewisburg. We'll talk to you next time on MyTV.
This is Bucknell's men's basketball on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wyoming Seminary and Fairfield Auto Group.